Well, hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? It has been a few days, maybe almost a week. I have been on the road traveling. And I tell you what, it is good to be back in the studio once again. My name is Ron Tijerina, and you are on Uncuffed with Ron Tijerina. So today we're going to talk about what happens when you enter into a room. What happens when you enter into a room? Do you change the atmosphere? Does the atmosphere change you? And so I want to talk to you about your presence and how you carry yourself among others. Do you change the atmosphere in a positive way? Or do people not even feel affected by your presence, or they infected by your presence? And I want to just give you a couple tips to help you, empower you, that when you walk into a room, that you become that change agent. Not that people put their eyes on you because you're like, wow, look at that dude, or look at that person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a narcissism attitude to where you think you're all that in a bag of chips, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about atmosphere changers. We're talking about chain breakers. We're talking about people who are change agents, and when they change the atmosphere of the room, they bring a sense of peace, loyalty, right? This type of conviction that can only come from when you walk into the room. In other words, what is it like when people are around you? Do they run from you? Do they gravitate towards you? Is your sense of humor contagious, or is it diagnosed as some sort of poison, and people run from you when they see you coming? So that's what I'm talking about. What happens when you walk into a room? Are they afraid you're going to ask them for money? Come on. Are you that person that whenever they see you coming, you say, hey man, can you loan me a couple bucks? Are you that type of individual that whenever you call somebody on the phone, they know, okay, he's only calling me because he wants something, he needs something. He never calls to check in on me. He never calls to just see how I'm doing. The only time that person ever calls is when they need something. Is that you? That's what I'm talking about. Are you that type of individual that when you walk into the room, people run? Are you like a cockroach, right? Always scurrying, right? Just getting the crumbs off the floor, but never making a dent in people's lives. Are you bringing value in someone's life, or are you a taker? Are you a taker, man? What happens when you walk into the room? I need you to ask yourself that. Are you a change agent? So the first thing I would like for you to suggest, I'm going to suggest something for you that I would like for you to consider, is how you carry yourself. Do you carry yourself with your back up, right? You're standing upright, right? You're not walking with a slouch. You're not walking with your head down. You're walking with a type of confidence. We're not talking about being arrogant. We're talking about being confident. Now, I'm going to give you a secret. I'm going to tell you the difference between arrogance and confidence, okay? So when you're arrogant, right, and you manifest that, people run from that type of attitude because you're haughty. When no one can teach you anything, you don't want to hear it from anybody else, because why? You think you got it going on. You think you're all that in a bag of chips. In fact, some of you might think that you're like that dust, right? You ever have that favorite bag of chips that you're eating and you got the powder left, and you'll, when nobody's looking, you'll rip open the bag, right? And you'll take your finger in there and you'll wet your finger and you'll get that dust of the chips, and you'll lick it off your fingers. Or some of you will rip open the bag and you'll literally lick the bag. Come on. Is that you? Do you think you're like that? Do you got that attitude about yourself? Well, I need you to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you ain't all that, right? That's a narcissistic attitude that I want to challenge you, because if you think people owe you something, you're in the wrong line of work, baby, because you got to earn it. You got to work for it. So when you walk into the room, here it is. When you're arrogant, you see, arrogant doesn't know its limits. Let me tell you that again. The difference between arrogance and confidence. When you walk into a room and they can feel that you're haughty, your haughtiness, you got so much pride, you can't humble yourself because you're unteachable, right? You don't want to hear anything from anybody else because you think you got it going on, right? You think you've already arrived. You think that you know it all. Right? Is that your attitude? Are you that arrogant that you're unteachable, that you can't learn anything from anybody else? You see, arrogance doesn't know its limits. Doesn't know its limits. But now confidence, when you're confident, that's contagious. Let me tell you, confidence walks with a sense of humility, a sense of honor, because confidence, here's what confidence does. Confidence knows its limitations. Confidence knows its limits. It doesn't walk with the haughty attitude. It doesn't walk with arrogance to where it believes that it can do all things. It can do anything that it set its mind to. When you know your limits, be confident in what you're good at. Be an expert in your field. Don't try to be an expert in somebody else's lane when you got no business being there, right? Right? Now, if you want to learn something, then this is the confidence. When you know what you know and you know what you don't know, right? You can begin to learn. You begin teachable. You can become that student. So now the question is, how often are you a student? You should be a student of life each and every day. There is never no time that you're not a student, because as long as you're teachable, there's something to learn each and every day. So what happens when you walk into the room? Do people run away from you? Do people gravitate? Do they listen to what you got to say? Or are they afraid about what you're about ready to say? Are they afraid? Is everything you say out your mouth suspect? Woo! Can you be taken at your word? Are you a person of your word? Are you a person of good character? Somebody worth following? You see this show here called Uncuffed. You can see the banner behind me. It's called TYRO. My hat. I got the TYRO sweat gear. I got the TYRO hat. Everything about me is TYRO. What is TYRO? You see, TYRO means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior. You see, when you're a warrior after education, when you're a warrior for your family, when you're a warrior for life, that means you're willing to do whatever it takes to learn, to grow, in no matter what situation you find yourself in. When you walk into the room, you should be willing to be taught by somebody, because you don't know who's going to be in that room that has something that you need to get to the next level of life. But a lot of times, when you walk with arrogance and you're haughty and nobody can teach you anything, you'll miss great opportunities that are right in front of you, because you can't see the forest because of the trees, right? You will miss great opportunities that are in front of you. So I'm going to challenge you. What happens when you walk into a room? How do people respond to your presence in their life? Are you a poison in their life? Are they running from you, or are they gravitated towards your insight, your wisdom, your energy? Do people love to synchronize their synergy with you? Listen to what I just said. Do people love to synchronize their synergy with you? Can you make something grow? Now listen, in the midst of going through something, you should be also growing something. Oh, I don't think you just heard what I said. When you're going through hell and high water, you should be growing in that atmosphere. You should be growing out of that place. But if you're stuck in arrogance and you want to be prideful instead of humbling yourself and learning what you can learn in the midst of that fire, in the midst of that trial that you're going through, you will have to repeat that experience again. I promise you. Because if you don't learn the lesson and you don't humble yourself and grow in the midst of the whatever it is you're going through, you will repeat that grade again. Man, listen, I'm telling you right now, what is it like when you walk into the room? Do people look at you in a way, I'm glad he's here, I can't wait till he speaks? Or are they afraid about what you're about to say? Are they eerie? Are they checking themselves to say, man, I don't know if I want to hear what this person has to say. Last time they said something, people got hurt. Last time they talked, people ran from that person. So I want to challenge you. Look at yourself, examine yourself to see where you're at. What do people do when they hear about you? How do they respond to your behavior, to your legacy, right? You're a warrior. This is what we talk about being a TYRO. We are building a new legacy for ourselves. We are working on our reputation win each and every day. As long as you got breath, your story is not over. But if you believe you've already arrived, then there's nothing we can do for you. You're not going to grow. You're not going to learn. You're going to wonder why you haven't excelled. Why can't you get to the next level? Because you limited your own potential. You put a cap on your growth. You put a cap on yourself. And I want to challenge you, remove that lid, remove that cap, take it off, and start to humble yourself and listen to what surrounds you, because there's great opportunities that are presenting themselves right now in your life, but because you're down and out, because you're struggling with something, and maybe nobody knows what you're struggling with, but you do, you haven't been able to get ahead in life because you have been in denial. You won't ask somebody for help. You won't ask somebody to help you understand what's happening in your life. This is what true humility is. When you want to grow into a new level of your life, you need to ask somebody to help you get there. Because if you already knew how to get there, you wouldn't be struggling on getting there. Listen, success is not the teacher. I'm going to say that again. Success is not the teacher. Success is the destination. The lesson is in the journey. The lesson is in the journey of life. This is where you're learning things. But if you're too arrogant and you walk into the room and people run from you, you got to change course. Stop what you're doing because it's not working. Humble yourself. Don't be the smart. Listen to what I'm about to tell you right now. Do not be the smartest one in the room. Surround yourself with people who know a lot more than you. Start to listen, start to grow, start to take upon you the lessons of life that are around you. There are so many great opportunities. And if you're a person right now that's looking for opportunities, stop what you're doing and just take a look around. Take a moment, slow it down. Look what's in front of you. Look what's next to you. Look within yourself. See what's going on. Why have you been missing these opportunities? What is it that you're trying to change in your life, but you just can't seem to do it? Because why? You got to deal with the issues of not humbling yourself. It takes great men who've accomplished great things to stay humble. Remember where you came from. I'm going to give you another secret right now. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not despise small beginnings. Don't expect to conquer the world when you can't even conquer you. You can't even conquer the little things in your life that got you all hung up. Focus on those things. Focus on the small victories in your life, and the big ones will take place. There's a word out there. He who is faithful in the least will be faithful in the most. Be faithful in the little things, and more responsibility will come to you. Be the change agent when you walk into the room. Let your cup press down and shaken together. Let your cup run over onto others. Let your joy, let your goodness, let your great character flow into others. Don't hold back when it comes to sharing the gifts and the talents that you have. Quit waiting to get paid. Just go out and do it. Quit waiting for somebody to pat you on the back. Just go out and do it. Quit waiting for somebody to give you permission. You see something needs to be done? You see somebody in need? Go and get it done. Go and help somebody. Quit waiting for permission. Quit waiting for the right time. Get up. Go get it done. I guarantee you, you will reap what you sow. Hey, listen, my name is Ron Tijerina. You've been listening to Uncuffed. I just wanted to drop a quick message. I hope those of you who have heard this, listen, one more thing. Subscribe to this channel. Share this channel. Help me build this channel. I need you. You need me. We need each other. This is how we're going to grow it. I'm back. I was in Louisiana for a few days. I'm back. It's good to be back. So until next time, always remember, I am rooting for you.